Good evening and welcome to UTVS News at 5:30. I'm Alicia Lewis.
And I'm Megan Conley. Thanks for joining us this evening. Right away, meteorologist David Martin joins us at the wall for a sneak peek at weather. David?
Well, thanks, Alicia and Megan. Yeah, we have two storm systems we're dealing with currently. One dropping to our south, no threat to Minnesota, but if you can believe it, Louisiana is expecting its first snowfall of the season out of this. But this is our next weather system that we're going to be keeping an eye on, and I'll let you know just how much snow we could see and when it could occur a little later on in the newscast.
Thanks, David. Changes are underway for the St. Cloud Airport. Although it's not about a new airline carrier coming to town, it's about the safety for incoming and outgoing aircrafts. UTVS reporter Tony Krishner has more on the story.
Just yesterday, the St. Cloud City Council approved a new measure for the St. Cloud Airport, allowing officials to shoot and kill wildlife for incoming and outgoing aircraft.
In 2005, the airport installed a perimeter fence to keep wildlife off airport property and added a grid system to the stormwater pond to discourage birds from landing there.
Fire Station 3 will receive over $160,000 in quotes to restore the damage from the October 29th fire. According to preliminary reports, insurance is covering damage to totals of at least $1 million. The $740,000 building suffered $400,000 in damage. Deductibles and money to upgrade equipment will come from the fire department's special revenue fund.
The process for overseeing housing in St. Cloud has some changes in store. New leadership, new focuses, and building changes are being implemented by the St. Cloud Housing and Redevelopment Authority for 2011. In November, the building at 1225 St. Germain Street in St. Cloud was bought by the HRA Board of Commissioners for $600,000. This eliminated the renter's expense of $9,100 and made it more affordable for the public. And now reporter Carl Schroeder joins us with a look at a tragic event that happened at a high school in Wisconsin.
It's many parents' worst nightmare, a student bringing a gun to their child's school. For some parents in Wisconsin, that nightmare came true.
According to the Associated Press, a 15-year-old Marionette High School student, armed with 2 handguns, took more than 20 students and 1 teacher hostage in a classroom.
I was completely flabbergasted.
And late this afternoon, new information was released about the gunman. His name is Samuel Hengel, and he was a sophomore at the high school, and he actually passed away today.
All right, so this incident is very bizarre as it is, but can you tell us anything unusual about the gunman?
What was kind of strange is that he was actually talking to the students and laughing, and they were talking about things like hunting and things that they're interested in. And he actually had, it said 6 friends inside the classroom. So who knows what his motives were, if he ever intended to hurt anybody. I mean, we might never know.
A Hastings man will serve 27 years behind bars after sexually assaulting a 9-month-old child in his care. Michael Frederick Schmidt was sentenced to at least 18 years in prison, and the remaining 9 years will be supervised release.
A Duluth man pled guilty to sexually assaulting an 11-year-old girl. 30-year-old Timothy Paul Martin Tungren says he was drunk and doesn't remember what happened, but admitted there's no reason to dispute the victim's account. Martin Tungren pled guilty to 1 count of second-degree criminal sexual conduct and is sentenced to nearly 8 years in prison.
A Minneapolis man was sentenced to prison earlier today after beating his 2-year-old daughter to death. 29-year-old Pierre Gray pleaded guilty to second-degree unintentional murder after beating 2-year-old Malela after a toilet training accident. Gray doesn't have any memory of what happened that night because he was under the influence of alcohol and marijuana. He was sentenced to over 34 years in prison.
And there's a new criticism for the University of Minnesota drug study. 8 bioethics professors at the U of M want the Board of Regents to investigate a 6-year-old drug study where a participant committed suicide. In a letter sent yesterday, the professors questioned whether researchers should have enrolled Dan Markinson, a schizophrenic who may have lacked the ability to consent to the study. This was not the first time the study has been criticized. One of the researchers settled a lawsuit filed by Markinson's mother. U of M attorney Mark Rottenberg said that other government entities found no link between the study and Markinson's death.
Minnesota Attorney General Lori Swanson is suing Discover over allegations that the credit card company is charging customers for unauthorized account protection programs. The lawsuit alleges that customers were charged for programs such as wallet protection and payment protection. Swanson says Discover failed to get an informed consent for the charges. Discover is one of the nation's largest credit card companies and didn't leave any any comment on the issues.
As of Monday, the City Council granted the governmental funds budget $74 million for 2011. There's been a nearly 4% cut in total spending, which cited to reduce local government aid and declining market values. This is a 3% decrease from 2010. Public safety is the only area where budget costs didn't decrease due to federal grants that'll pay for new firefighters and police officers. Cuts were made based on city priorities. And new updates on the recount for the Minnesota governor's race, all that and more when UTVS returns.
With new information on the gubernatorial recount, UTVS reporter Carl Schroeder has the story.
Today marks an important point in the gubernatorial recount. The deadline for candidates to withdraw any challenges to ballots ended just hours ago.
Reporting inside the UTVS Election Center, I'm Carl Schroeder.
Keep watching UTVS for more developments on the recount.
St. Cloud DFL candidate Carol Lewis had conceded a close Minnesota House race to Republican King Banyan. Banyan led Lewis by 10 votes in the initial count, which triggered an automatic recount under state law. Welcome back. If you think shovels are just for pushing snow, well, you're wrong.
That's right. 120 aspiring musicians from across Japan have taken a spin on shovels, bottle openers, and spoons.
Let's take a look.
The musical shovel contest took place in northern Japan, and the Japanese musicians are very talented, and I'm wondering how us Minnesotans would do in a musical contest like
Well, I
that.
know one thing, the loser would have to shovel the winner's driveway.
They can
you
shovel
would?
my driveway.
They can shovel his driveway.
Yeah, especially
Thursday.
since
All
Thursday.
this snow.
Yeah, there might be a little snow. Take a quick look
Yes.
at that 5-day forecast. We do have 2 chances of precipitation. Thursday, quick, maybe 2 inches. Saturday, and then Sunday, we get that snap of cold weather for maybe 1 or 2 days. But those lows at night are going to be chilly, down towards the -10, -15 range.
So bundle up.
We want to thank you for tuning in.